This table contains some important data about company's sales force performance over the course of the year. But this important data, this important information can be communicated in a lot easier to read way than this clutter of numbers, tables, and cells. It can be communicated in whole sentences. And to do that, we can use the concatenate function of the Active Tables plugin. We'll start easy. We'll start our sentence with the first and last name of the first salesperson. To do that, start a new formula. Type in concatenate, left parentheses, select your cell address selection tool, click on first name, comma, last name, right parentheses, and enter. You can see we've entered the name John Adams, but there's no space in between. This is because there's neither space after the first name nor one before the last one, because there's no need for it in the table. So we'll edit our formula, and we'll add quotation mark, space quotation mark, and comma in between, because text, if you're entering text into the formula, it always has to be in quotation marks. Enter. So now we can see we have John Adams, first name, last name, and space in between. The formula runs like this. Concatenate, sales A2. Sales is the name of the table. A2 is the name of the cell. Sales B2, again, table and cell B2. We can continue our sentence saying how many cars this particular salesman sold over the Q1. So we'll add quotation mark, space, sold, space, entering the word sold, and spaces around it, comma, direct selection tool, select the results for the first quarter, space, quotation mark, space again, cars in the, space, another quotation mark, comma, cell selection tool will select the Q1 and press enter. We can see that John Adams sold 52 cars in the Q1. Now we'll make a little adjustment for the Q1. We'll add $sign before the C and before the 1 in the cell address. You can see the formula now looks like this. The $sign before the C and before the 1 causes this cell reference not to change when you copy and paste the formula inside the table. Later you will see when this is useful. Now we'll enhance the formula to add the information about the sales for the rest of the year. We'll just copy paste a pre-made formula to make this faster. And we can see we have the formula John Adams sold 52 cars in the Q1, 94 cars in the Q2, and so on. The formula is now rather complicated, but it's easier to make, and the good thing is you only make it once. So this is how the formula actually looks. You are not limited to just quoting or referencing cells. You can also add calculations to this concatenate function and make it a little more complicated, but saying a little more information. It can run like this. So John Adams sold 52 cars in the Q1 and so on, and he sold a total of 266 cars over the year. How did we get the 266 cars when there's no such information in the table? It is easy. We added a sum formula and made it a part of the concatenate function. Like this. We added the total of word. Then we added sum, sales C2 to F2, which is these 4 cells. And we added another text, car sold per year. Building this sentence as a formula took us probably a little bit more time than it would if we just typed it in as a text. So what's so great about it, you may ask? The great thing about it is that you only type it once. Doesn't matter if you have just 6 items in the table as we hear, or 1,000, you only type it once, and then you let the active tables do the work for you. First, we need to create a table with 6 rows and just 1 column. This is what we need for now. And copy the formula we've created into the first cell. You can see it didn't change. It still says John Adams sold 52 cars in the Q1. So we copy the formula again. This is important. You have to copy it again from the first cell and paste it in the second row. And you can see now it did change. Now it did change to Adam Brown, who is in the second row in the original table. as the formula is automatically recalculated respecting its position. And you can also see that the Q1 didn't change. This is because we use the $ before the F and $ before the 1. This means these addresses do not transpose even if you copy the formula within the table. So now we don't have to copy again. We can just keep pasting until we have the whole table full, which is right now. And you can see that with each row, the formula takes the numbers from the respective row in the original table. You're, of course, not limited to having the results just in the table. You can use the table just as a way, just as a means to have all these formulas translated to all these names. We can still copy one of the formulas and paste it into frames such as this. The best salesperson of the Q1 was John Adams. But is this true? Well, we can make it true. We can select the table, choose sort, sort by column C, which is where the Q1 is, sort a number, and sort descending. This is the last icon in the row. Apply to selection only. OK. And now we can see that the best salesperson was Jane Austen, and it changed in the formula too.